we're going to talk about Bestia, how an organisation can piss away goodwill in a 2-day time period. So here's what happened, right? We had the matchups announced for the first stage of the major, all done with the VRS and all the regional rankings, and it's all been sorted out. And there they are, Bestia, Argentinian team. And they're in. They were going to be playing FlyQuest. But this obviously was all contingent on them being able to get a visa. And so I'll take you back in time to the 18th of May. Bestia make plea for support to secure visas for the Austin Major. The Argentinian team is still one player short for the showpiece competition. Bestia have asked for the community support to obtain US visas to compete at the Blast TV Austin Major, with only a few weeks left until the start of the tournament. The Argentinian side only has 4 eligible players, and that includes the substitute Nicolas Nicoem Miozzi. In an emotional video posted on X, Bestia founder and CEO Alejandro Papo MC, you're going to be hearing lots about this fella, Lococo, explained that the organization's efforts to secure visas for their players Thomasin and Luchov have so far proved fruitless. We've been trying to sort out the visa situation for 3 years. I'm going to press X to doubt on that one. But we keep getting turned down. We've used every resource at our disposal, and we've spoken with every person we thought could give us important information with agencies. We are practicing in Brazil. We went to the embassy for the boys to give it another try, and then were once again turned down. We are now a few hours away from having to confirm that we have completed the process to be able to represent Argentina. Both Tommy and Lucho have had their visas denied, in theory because they have no reason to return to Argentina after the major. It's a dream for any Counter-Strike player to play at a major. These players have visa issues and they are asking for help. Retweet, please. And then Papo MC said, we want to make it clear, we only want to fulfill our dream, which is to represent Argentina, compete in the most important tournament in the world, and then come back home. The boys have a life here. They have a job. They tried to get a visa with a letter of recommendation from the government. They had a letter of invitation from the tournament organizer. Regrettably, they didn't even want to receive the papers. And that's where it's at. Now, I have some immediate thoughts about this. How to phrase it delicately. So, I'll take him at his word, and let's pretend he has been. They've consistently been applying for US visas to get into the US so they can compete should they ever want to attend a tournament. Right. Well, okay. If you are consistently turned down for a visa, there's probably a reason. Just saying. Been through that process myself. They've been all up in my shit when I got my O1 visa, right? You have to declare everything, guys. And they turn over stones. Your education, your background, any criminal convictions, what countries you've traveled to all over the world, what was the purpose of the travel, why am I giving you this visa, what are your qualifications, what are your expertise. You have to get like 10 letters from other people that can totally vouch for the fact that you are indeed the person you say you are and you have all these special talents, right? Because the type of visa they should be applying for is a P1 visa, right? So your P1 visa is you're a professional athlete and you travel the world for the purposes of competition. You get that visa issued by the US and they say you can enter the US to participate in competitions. That's what that was the holy grail back in like 2005, 2006. I remember when I think it was Complexity, they got one for Zet, the Swedish player they imported into their US Counter-Strike Source lineup, 1.6 player he was, and they got a P1 visa. It was a huge deal. Wow, we've made it. Here we are now. A lot of these players play in the US on P1 visas. Blast have been working with everyone to get the appropriate visas, be they temporary, be they long-term. Blast have been there as a resource to help people. Now, if for 3 years you are applying for a visa and you are turned down, here's what you have to understand. First of all, don't apply for visas flippantly. Because every time you turn down, it resets the clock. And when you reapply, do you know what you have to say? I have previously been turned down. And so what do you think they do when you say that? They get up all in your shit. You are told when you apply for a visa to the US, explicitly, make sure you answer everything correctly. Fine-tooth comb that shit. Because if it is wrong and you are declined on the basis it is wrong, you will have to say you were declined for the rest of time. And it will make further applications harder. And so this is why you hire a fucking absolute shit-hot crackpot team that understand the ins and outs of American immigration law. We did it for me. It cost 10 grand. 10 grand. Which fortunately I didn't have to pay. Right? 10 grand, and it was this fucking thick, my application. It was filled with big stories I'd broke. It was filled with letters of recommendation. It was filled with accolades. It was my full education history. It was every time I've been to America. It was every country I'd ever visited. It was insanely thorough. And I got approved for 3 exceptional persons or 1 visas. As I should. Just saying. It's all legit. Not like some miracle. But if I had applied myself and gone, yeah, that'll do, and then got declined, I got no one to fucking blame when I'm going, why won't they stamp my visa now that I'm applying? Now, I'll add to this part. I don't believe that they were explicitly told the reason we are declining your visa is because you have no reason to leave the country once we give it to you. That doesn't make any sense at all. You're not going there on an HB1 or something like that. You're not going there on like just a regular worker's visa. You're also not coming from a country that would be recognized as like a flight risk or somebody seeking asylum. You're Argentina. So I don't buy that. I do not buy that. And also, by the way, when you are declined, it's my understanding, even though I've never been declined for a visa or entry to any country anywhere in the world, but it is my understanding that when you're declined, there isn't a reason. You're not told a reason. It's a stamp, yes or no. And you are just, no, you've been declined. You can write to them, ask around, get a law firm to try and get some insight, maybe their lawyers, talk to their lawyers. But at the end of the day, it's just no. It's a yes or no question. It's not, yeah, with an if and no with a but. It's none of that. So, anyway, 18th of May, guys. The 18th of May. The fucking event is in June. So, lots of problems with that initial breakdown of the news. And one final thought on that. Help community. What can the fucking community do? You think a tweet from fucking Apex is going to get you into the US? Help me community. They're not letting us in. Look at the injustice. Well, we're all fine. So, I guess I'll say, I've got some sympathy. Now, I want to make it clear. I want to make it absolutely clear at this point. It sucks that if you are a legitimate person applying for a visa to the US to ply your trade, and it is going to be the single biggest tournament of your life, which it would be for these guys, yes, your dream has been, it's been crushed. But I don't know what you've done. I don't know if you've done something a little bit naughty in your past. I don't know if I don't know if you filled in the wrong checkbox on a form. I don't know if you've disclosed something you shouldn't or been somewhere that America doesn't like you going to. Yeah, I spent 5 years in Pakistan. Any reason for that? I'd rather not say. Things like this are going to, you'd be amazed the shit people say on these forms thinking, well, this will be fine. We had this just recently. I was talking about this on the Rich Chord in the Politics channel because people fucking go, well, now that Trump's in charge, they're going mental, aren't they? They're going bloody mental. You saw what happened to that Welsh woman, Richard. You should be sympathetic about this. What? Well, it was a Welsh woman. She was put in a bloody ICE detention centre for 10 days. ICE detention centre, Richard, for 10 days. All because she filled in her form wrong. All right? Richard goes, looks into the story. What's that? She lied on the form, whether by accident or not, was declined entry to the US from Canada, went back to Canada, where a Canadian guard said, no, you're totally fine to go back to the US, then tried to re-enter the US after having been declined already on the same fucked up form that she'd already fucked up in, got caught re-entering the country at another port of entry. Yeah, you get arrested. Yeah, you get arrested. It's a border. I know this is like deeply unpopular in this day and age. That is how it is supposed to work, you know. Just saying, that is how it is supposed to work. You got a reason to be here. All your paperwork appears to be in order. Do come in. But anyway, all these people are throwing this garbage out there. Oh, it's Trump, it's this, it's that. America's always had pretty strict, if you go through the proper authorities, it's always been pretty strict. But equally, if you negotiate it the correct way and you are truthful and honest, I am a believer in the American immigration system, having been a beneficiary of it. By the way, the irony is, anyone will tell you this, getting this type of paperwork for Canada, way harder. So, also just putting that out there before you all start screeching about the Orange Man again. Anyway, the community can't help. You should have hired lawyers, and you should have got this over the line, and you had plenty of time to do it. But anyway, let's see what happens next. For surely, this will be a nice story, okay? This is Luchov, obviously one of the players that we know was affected, and he said, I don't have much to say. I am sorry that for all of us who contributed a grain of sand to achieve this, and for those who wanted to see us compete at the major. And this was in reply to the follow-up tweet from Bestia Papo MC. He said, right, it was a link to the emotional video where they asked, help, community, we need visas, help us. Can you help us defy American law somehow? It says here, 2.9 million views. What are the chances that the people who can help us haven't seen this? Will they keep ignoring us or save the future of esports in Argentina? Will Blast consider changing their senseless rules? Will Valve take responsibility for their inefficiency and fix it? Now, I don't know how to tell you this, Papa Smurf MC dickhead, right? I don't know how to tell you this. It's nothing to do with Valve. It's nothing to do with Blast. And it's everything to do with you. You. Right? It might just be one of those hard-to-swallow pills. But first of all, you're not entitled to a visa. I know, deeply unpopular thing to say. But Richard, they play the game and they're really good and they've qualified to a tournament. It is always contingent on you being allowed to enter the country. It is ever thus. And that country can turn you down for any fucking reason they want to. By the way, I love America. I had a life in America. I lived in America. I love America. God bless America. I fucking love America. If for any reason I tried to get in America and America said, well, you know, you tweeted all them spicy things about Joe Biden, so now you're on a list. I'm going to go, well, that fucking sucks, but guess it's just another country I can't go to. That's it. I'm not help community, help CS community. No, I just never get to drink in Vegas again. Oh, well. Big sad. I'll be big sad, but I'll get over it. You won't see me doing a GoFundMe to raise money for lawyers or fucking screaming at people or saying, 2.9 million views. Surely one of you can make the American government change its laws. Surely. It's nothing to do with Valve, nothing to do with Blast, and shit like this is cringe, and shit like this makes people like me think, you know what? Fuck you. Right? That's kind of where I ended up with it. Right? So, it doesn't end there, of course. Because why would it? There was this. Another player. This is a big one. One of the things that pisses me off the most about all of this is how Blast TV and Counter-Strike keep looking the other way. I wonder what they would do if this happened to an S-tier team. We'll get to that. I wonder if they realise how hard it is for an Argentine organisation to invest and break into the circuit. What fault of it is ours if they hold the championship in the country with the most bureaucratic entry process in the world? Not true. It's not just about not being able to travel to compete. It's about losing the prize money that rightfully belongs to us and the organisation. It's about not having stickers and not being immortalised in the game. It's about not earning the points we could have gotten if we had competed. We earned all of that by playing and winning fair and square. I've dedicated a big part of my life to this. I think I've had at least a small impact on helping Counter-Strike grow a bit more in Argentina. I think Bestia is an organisation and every one of the players shares the same sentiment. Is this the consideration we get? Are we just another number? Now, here's the other aspect to this that blows my mind, and we'll get into bits and pieces of this statement. But why, surely, if it's just two of you, and you tried, as your owner said, for 3 years, and you'd been declined multiple times, why weren't you replaced? Anyone? Like, if I'm running an organisation and it's important for the future of not just my organisation, but my country that we compete at the highest level, and I've got 2 players on my roster that can't get into a country where the World Championship has been held, and they've tried multiple times, and we've tried multiple times to get them in, I say, sorry guys, got to replace you. It's too important. There's too much at stake. You said so. But no, apparently, once again, we have to retcon it. We have to go backwards, reverse engineer it, and you should just be allowed to enter the country. Now, the community were unbelievably sympathetic at this point, right? Majors should not be hosted in the US. This is what people have come up with, right? And here's what they went. They went, there is an alarming trend when it comes to visa issues. Nearly every single instance of visa issues at major events since the end of COVID is caused by one of 2 things, right? One of these things is not like the other. Either A, the player is Russian or Belarusian, or B, the event is hosted in the US. The first one, while also unfortunate, is pretty much unpreventable, as the players' nationalities are just inherently problematic for visa handling right now. But the latter is completely preventable by just not hosting major events in the US. Therefore, as much as it sucks to say this as someone who lives in the United States, no majors or events of a similar magnitude should be hosted in the US again until visa processing significantly improves. Bestia has become the most recent victim of this, having their major dreams crushed by the bureaucracy of US visa processing. And what's especially sad about this is that this was 100% foreseeable and preventable by Valve. None of this is Valve's fault, you dickhead. None of this is Valve's fault. The major is supposed to represent the dream that anybody, no matter where you live, has a chance to change their life by qualifying for this incredibly important event, and preventable visa issues should not be coming in the way of this. Here's a list of the most recent visa issues on HLTV that come up when I search for visa or visa issues. So he's done his own work, lads. Right? Bestia for the Austin Major. Halzerk for the Austin Major. By the way, you will notice complexity, not crying. Help, help, community! Help! What would happen if this was an S-tier team this happened to? They would take their medicine and shut the fuck up. As evidenced. But okay, alright, sorry, my bad. Slacks at Fragadelphia, Vegas, USA. Then it's just a list of Russia. Bestia again at ECL Atlanta. Halzerk again at Dallas in 2023, right? So anyway, I'll say this. I don't think you should host major events in the US anyway, but we are not the same. You're doing it predicated on some fucked up sob story that has no basis in fact. I'm doing it in the fact that, what the fuck do we need to go to America for anyway? You got no teams. You got no teams. So why should we go to a country that is largely irrelevant in CS terms currently, to have events and go through this fucked up visa process, which for about 1.5% of players will fail? Here's what we can do. We can go to places like, well, I won't say the names of any countries, but let's just say there are countries out there where you can fix all of this with a handshake. You know what I mean? You can't do that in America. Despite, you can fix almost anything else, but not this. Right? And so, you wanna host your events in the countries where you can fix it all with a handshake? Go right ahead. Because then there are no problems. Then everybody gets to go there, don't they? I mean, this is the irony, isn't it, guys? We've just done an event in Kazakhstan where the only player that couldn't go due to a visa problem, as far as I'm aware, was their own organisation's fuck up. Everyone else got to go, irrespective of where they're from in the world. Ain't that something? Ain't that really something? Makes you think. So yeah, we shouldn't have events in the US because there's no point to have events in the US, is there? So just saying. And by the way, when all events are held in Riyadh, as the dark future of esports lurches towards that reality, there'll be no problems. There will be no problems. It will literally be a phone call and you will be in the country. You've seen this for the Esports World Cup. No issues, right? Crazy. Really makes you think. But anyway, so this was the consensus in the community. It's sad. Should we have a look at some comments? I'll read some comments in a silly voice. There's this. I'm always confused with hosting a major in the US when you have Canada next door. It's much easier to get a visa in Canada than the US. Yeah. Not so sure about that, big homie, but whatever. This has been an ongoing issue. And I can't imagine renting the venues to be cheap either. CS is a global game and you can go anywhere in the world. Just hold off until they get their act together. By the way, I hope you do realise, I hate to say this, I don't like to get political on these things. I'll go big again. I don't like to get political on these things. I talk about American politics a lot. American politics is so, but also reality and facts kind of do matter, right? Do you think that maybe the problem you have with getting all of these visas done is down to all the people abusing the American immigration system? Do you think the massive backlog probably contributes in some way? Well, that's not the current guys, is it? It's not the current guys. Just saying. You know, the good guys might have to carry a bit of a can on that one. There you go. Looked like BESTIA had the same issue twice. Yeah, weird that. Could they have prepared better to prevent this? There you go. For US visa, if you get denied once, it makes the second time even harder and will be marked forever. They had like barely a month to get their visas. Not true. So that was the community consensus 5 days ago. Right, that's where they were at. No, we shouldn't host them in the US. And wow, Bestia's dreams. Won't somebody think of Bestia? Right, so I'll also just remind you, okay, do you remember what happened at Copenhagen? Do you remember that? I was at that major. I hosted that major, didn't I? Remember how Gamer Legion were there? Let me show you. And Jace, put your fingers in your ears, mate. You're not going to like this bit. Okay, here we go. Jace, fingers in your ears. Nope, fingers. Both your fingers. You crazy Finn. Heartbreak for 9 Pandas as they're officially ruled out of the Copenhagen Major. PGL put a statement out. They said, all PGL CS2 Major Copenhagen 2024 teams were required to be in Denmark by March 14th. Despite multiple extended deadlines, 9 Pandas could only line up 3 eligible players today. As a result, PGL has replaced them with Gamer Legion for this tournament. And guess what? 9 Pandas was a Russian lineup. They were a Russian lineup. And they didn't get to go. Their major dream got crushed, didn't it? Did anyone cry for the Russians? Any tears? Any tears for their dreams, Richard? What do you think of the integrity of the competition? And think about their dreams, Richard. The dreams. They could have had the stickers and they could have been immortalised. Thinking of dreams. No, do you know what we did? We just said, oh no, they're fucking Russian, right? So whatever. Who gives a fuck? You can't let Russians into your country. After all, their government that they may or may not support has invaded another sovereign foreign nation. A standard I can't help that we still do not hold America to. So, fuck their dreams, right? So, of course, just for all of the Argentine fans out there and all the people crying about what happened to Bestia, we did have this. And do you know what we did? We said, fuck you. Here's Gamer Legion. That's what we did. That's what the entire community did. So, if it's good enough for them, it is absolutely good enough for you, I'm afraid. Oh, what's that? You're from a slightly more popular nation currently in the zeitgeist, so we all have to break down and cry about it. No, it either matters or it doesn't. It's either fair or it isn't. And what we have here is what I like to call established precedent. That's right, we had established precedent, didn't we? So, it's not, does this happen because we are Argentinian? Russian players have been getting wrecked since their country invaded Ukraine. I have to believe that they're all good people. they don't support their government, and they don't support war, and they want the war to end, and they're just competitors, their dreams don't matter, apparently. So, you know, it's as simple as that. This is the rule we live with. If you can't get the visas to go to the country, we replace you. Now, let's get on to the next bit. Bestia were still wrangling and still pushing. And so I want to include this here. Good old Messioso, friend of the stream and general manager at Complexity, said, it actually, when you look at the numbers, 160 players in Austin, only 2 didn't get their specific visas in time, with Hallzerk being a different and longer process that is separate to Austin specifically. And then M&M's, journalist at Dust2.us, said because 2 players were unable to get visas due to what is increasingly looking like mistakes made by the org, a shocking number of community members have demanded America never get a major or even an S-Day event ever again. Never accused the scene of not being even keeled. And yeah, this was not. If you want to make an argument about not having events in America, this isn't what you want to do. Because it turns out, yeah, the organization did make mistakes. And so they're going to carry the can. But we're going to get there. We're going to come to it. So the next thing that happened, they missed the deadline. Now, deadlines, we can all agree with. Deadlines are arbitrary lines in the sand that you have to just accept. Deadlines, it feels bad. If you miss a deadline by 1 minute, it feels bad. You miss a deadline by a day, it feels bad. But you have to just draw a line and say, this is the cutoff point. You have to do that. And it doesn't matter whether you miss it by a minute or a day or a week. It's a deadline, and you missed it. They were not able to secure the visas in time. And so, Blast put out a confirmation, right, that Legacy will be jumping in for Bestia. Here it is. Blast TV Austin major update. We regret to announce that Bestia Core will no longer be participating in the upcoming Blast TV Austin major as the team was unable to secure the required US visas for a sufficient number of eligible players. Now, they add here, in their place, Legacy GGBR, the runner-up of the South American Major Regional Qualifier, will be stepping in to compete. We are pleased to confirm Legacy has obtained all necessary travel documentation and will be attending the Austin Major. Now, I will tell you, below these tweets, there's just lots of Spanish and the word injusticar. Lots of that. Strong uptake for injustice, even though you failed to get the visas, you fucked up to get the visas, you had a clear deadline for the visas, and you missed that deadline for the visas. The replies are insane. I can't show them in a lot of cases, right? But useful idiots, they're everywhere. Look at this. Malbs. Come on, guys. Hispanic scene has been dead for ages, and without these guys, it would be only me to try and represent the region. Give them a chance. It's just until Monday. Do what's best for CS and give some major representation to these guys that have always fought for this chance in particular, right? It was like, you couldn't have less respect because, like, by the way, dudes, you fucking idiot. You idiot, Malbs. You're an idiot. You, too, will be, held to these deadline standards. And there'll be an event one day. Maybe G2 for somehow mess up in some way. Do we really have to fucking, like, for example, we just had a Astana where your organization didn't get the fucking paperwork for Hunter? Do we have to do this every time? Or do we accept that, it's contingent on the organization? Heroic. Just engagement farming with garbage like this. Another professional organization, right? Look at this. Argentina al Mundial. Munacy, who is doing this more and more. He's this close. He's about to have a spill. He's going to have the social media spill. It's coming. They will get visa on time and be able to travel. How the fuck do you know, dickhead? How do you know? The only thing you know is that a big bag of fucking money turns up on your fucking doorstep every day. Brought to you by Nico. What the fuck do you know about what's going on? Just blindly repeating stuff. Spirit did the same. Queserato did the same. Big did the same. Twists did the same. Taz did the same. Zach did the same. It's all there, right? They missed the fucking deadline, you bellends. They missed the deadline. That's it. What do you want? Oh, but nobody extend the deadline for these guys. No. No preferential treatment for anyone. No. Do not redeem. No. You can't just say, but their story's so good and cool. Give them till Monday. No, it's a fucking deadline. It is a deadline. You fucking animals. Rules have to matter. Because you all want to break the rules this time because it's a cool story, right? But you won't like it when a fucking team breaks the rule. Oh, we'll just turn up 30 minutes late to this game, shall we? Oh, no, but that's a forfeit to us. Oh, but come on, they've waited their whole life to compete. Just give them another 30 minutes, man. No, don't. Follow the fucking rules. How about that? How about we all follow the fucking rules? How about that? It's fucking esports and we just play favourites all the fucking time. And then, also, can we go a week without a South American organisation holding a fucking pity party for itself? And how everyone hates us. The whole scene is saying, let's break the rules. The whole scene is saying, oh, fucking fuck blast. And then it gets worse. Oh, how can it get worse? Well, wellity. Right, let's start with this. Legacy, obviously now in the major, they acknowledged that, here it is. We're going to be there, right? We're going to be there. So here it is. Dumau says Legacy will almost certainly attend the Blast.tv Austin Major instead of Bestia, right? And he did an interview. And in that interview, here it is. Yeah, there's a big chance we'll be at the major. I mean, unfortunately, we couldn't win at the South American MRQ. We didn't play our best game. And it was very frustrating because, to be honest, we felt we could do it. Like, if we played them 10 times, we would win 9 at least. We had the confidence, we had everything, but we just didn't play well. Now we have the chance to play again. And yeah, we'll try to prove that we deserve more, you know? That was it. Throwaway comment, right? Wrong. The fucking meltdown that happened. Here we go. These are the nice guys that want you to root for them. What happened, Dumau CS? Are you hoping we didn't see? Do you seriously think that out of 10 matches you'd win 9? Why didn't you beat us in the final then? I know the answer. It's not because it was a bad game. It's because with that weak mindset you guys have. Rooting for a team that beat you to get disqualified. That's why you don't have the guts to play important matches. You go in a shock. Out of 100 finals, I'd beat you 100 times. Brother, screw you, with all due respect to Legacy. Now, if you know anything about your history, Argentinians and Brazilians don't need an excuse to do this. This is a normal interaction between a Brazilian and an Argentinian. And if you've ever heard the chants, the racist chants, I must add, from Brazilian fans about Maradona, and if you've ever heard the chants, racist chants, I must add, from Argentina about Pele, this is nothing. This is nothing. Okay? So don't look at it like, wow, he's gone Super Saiyan there. That is just how they talk to each other. They're not fans. They're not fans of each other, Argentina and Brazil. Lots of reasons. Some of them historical, some of them about football. This latest entry in esports hasn't helped relations. But I think they might have gone a bit excessive here. I'm just saying. Here we go. Dumau. He said, manito. I don't know why I do the accent. Whatever. I was thinking of Pachanga from Carlito's Way for some reason. Carlito. Anyway, manito. You understand what was said. Misunderstand what was said. I would never wish for anything to go wrong for you all regarding visas, because that's part of our dreams. You all won at that moment, but the interview was solely to boost confidence in my team. That's reasonable, isn't it? Reasonable, right? Pathetic, says Timo from Bestia, right? Pathetic. Luchov, very little empathy on your part, Demau. I'd be embarrassed to say that in an interview. By the way, these guys begged the community, help us. Help us. We can't get visas. There's been an error somehow. Very little empathy on your part, Demau. I'd be embarrassed to say that in an interview right now. Vomiting emoji. And if they could play so well, they would have won more than 13 rounds in 2 maps. You absolute clown. And, on the other hand, I want to thank all the players and orgs from Brazil, which were almost all of them, who did speak out and shared their support for us in any way they could. People, obviously they're going to agree to play the major. That's not the issue. It's just about showing a bit of solidarity because the team you're replacing beat you 13-8, 13-5. So don't make a fuss. Just respond with what's necessary. This was after, because it was kind of ironic, I guess, in the truest sense of the meaning of the word irony, to watch a Brazilian organisation with Brazilian players being out-harassed by someone else. It was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. Never seen this happen before. I wonder what the equivalent of Vampeta's penis is in Argentina. I guess we'll never know. Another one here. This is the side of the story chosen by the legacy players, posting stories on Instagram so they don't get insulted on Twitter. This as well. Congrats, brother. I see how proud you are of having your sticker that you didn't win because you got absolutely wrecked on the server and they gave it to you just because, keeping your mouth shut all week and only posting on Instagram because you're a coward scum. Oh, yep. Taking it well then. Legacy announced the stickers, right? Because you would. Hey guys, we're going to the major. Do you want to see our stickers? Quote tweet. Goal achieved by the guys. Never in my life will I think of addressing another word to anyone from this organisation. It's not the meeting. What do you want them to do? Listen guys, all proceeds from our stickers using our intellectual property are going to go to the Argentinians flaming us on Twitter right now. Fuck you. Fuck you, eat my ass. We're in, you're fucking not. These are my stickers, buy my stickers, deal with that. Just deal with it. Just fucking deal with it. Also, hang on. I'm going to offer an olive branch at this point, right? Is it an olive branch? It's an olive branch that's covered in dog shit that I earlier used to scrape the dog shit from my shoe. But it's an olive branch all the same. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Do you know, I can identify with your experience, right? I can identify with your experience because I go to majors, right? I work majors. I get hired to do majors. And I think, right, as one of the greatest hosts, I never get credit for this, right? Now, obviously, the single GOAT journalist. I even asked Grok the other day, who is the greatest esports journalist of all time. And you know what it said? It took ages, but it did conclude it was me. So the AI is working. Now... Now, I think I'm a pretty great host as well, to be fair. And I never get my flowers for that. Never been nominated for Host of the Year. I was on telly, for God's sake. Well, when I wasn't washed, I was on telly. And, you know, that was a lot of pressure, you know, live TV, live American TV, right? I did that, and it was good. It was good. People said it was good. People liked it. And then I retired, didn't I? And then they brought me back. Didn't they? And now people like me. And they go, oh, bloody hell, Richard Lewis is a good host. Why don't we see him at more events? And then, yeah, the politics all comes out, right? So I like working events. Not always. But, you know, in later life, they've given me a lot of joy. And the last few years, coming back and doing them, it's took its toll on me, but it's been good. It's been fun. And I think I've done good work. And I think people have enjoyed it. We're all having a good time. So here's the thing, right? Me, one of the best esports hosts in the world, right? I'm not being hired for this. I'm not at this major. I think I've earned the right to be there. I think I've earned the right to be at any CS event that I should want to. Why? 20 years of dedication to the scene, doing consistently good work. But I'm not at this major, am I? Why am I not at this major? Because Blast don't want to hire me for this major. They don't want to hire me because I've said bad things about them. So, can you not see? Can you see? You know, we're in the same boat. But I don't go, help, community. Help me, community. Blast won't hire me. Help. ESL are owned by Saudi Arabia, and therefore I'd feel ethically compromised if I worked for them. Help me. In just a car. I don't do that, do I? I just go, oh, well, you know, that's sad. That's 20 grand I'm not going to earn, right? But, yeah, life goes on, right? So, let's go back to you abusing Legacy for no good reason. History. History will judge you. He's tagged all of the players. These are all of the players and the coach for Legacy, right? History will join the wrong side. History will judge you on its own. History won't give a fuck, mate. History will say, Legacy were at this major and you weren't. That's what and that is all history will do, right? That's it. History will judge you on its own. Thank you for never speaking out for us and for putting your CEO's values above your own. Not speaking is also speaking. Fucking get that one working in your noodle. Papo MC there, you should be ashamed. They're just saying, hey, look, it's our stickers. Hey, it's our stickers, guys. We're in the major. We can fill in forms correctly. So we're in the major. Hey. That's all. You're ashamed. Bloody animals, you should be ashamed. Anyway, here you go. Right. He then posted this. Although you may not believe it, for the company that manages the world of the game we love, the team that has to play the major is the one that says 0 in red, and the one that misses out on all the benefits of playing is the one that has the 2 in green. Any other details to that story? Bestia, Papo MC, fire emoji. Any other details you want to share? Any other minor details? Could you secure the paperwork to go to the country where the finals were held? Were you aware, according to you, your words, not mine, years in advance this might be a problem? Had you had other problems, earlier problems? Had you sought out specialist legal help? No, you didn't do any of these things. Here's the thing. I did leave out the bald eagle emoji. I just thought it was too soon because you're never going to America, lad. You're never going. So just deal with that, unfortunately. It's so hard for Legacy players. He's still got Luchob's on one. He's on a mad thing. Is it so hard for Legacy Players CEO to post on Twitter that they want those of us participating to be the ones involved? It's our slot. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. There is no slot. There is a qualifier, and then if you are unable to attend, it goes to the next team. That's how it works everywhere, guys. You don't own a slot. It's not a franchise league. You didn't buy it. It's our slot, and we earned it. For heaven's sake. I can't believe it. It's not that hard, haha. It's just about doing the right thing and nothing more. See some translates here. Hey, Demau, forget about the money because I know you're not going to get it. Let's bet $1 against 9 to see your stupid face more closely. Donkey, Pete, and Dumb. Don't know what's going on with that. Then he said this. It was about Demau. His hands aren't enough to jerk us off. Look, listen. Whenever you get into it with South Americans, there will always be an aggressively homosexual insult. It's always coming. It's always coming. Which, that's just how that is. And like I say, it's not just a homosexual insult. It will be aggressively homosexual. It's not insulting your homosexuality. It is aggressively implying you must perform a homosexual act on them or them on you. I've never understood it for a culture that seems to be broadly homophobic, but it's always there. I've been on the receiving end. Hey. Anyway, his hands aren't enough to jerk us off. His 9 out of 10 comment already shows how his brain works. And then, out of 10 matches, they win 9. I bet you anything that stat is a lie and nonsense. I propose $1 million bet against 9. We play 10 matches. I'll give you 1 life to find a financier. Learn math, bot. Then, if you sponsor, this is a retweet, if you sponsor Legacy, you are endorsing the terrible decision that this team made without empathy, which everyone is talking about. And then another one here in reply to Legacy saying we're going to be going to the Blast, Austin. It's a shame about the situation of the beast, meaning Bestia, which needs to be rethought in all areas. Sad about the hakes. It's not up to us to decide anything. No one is responsible for the American Embassy to give the best in the championship, and if we refuse the invitation, it will be Odek and not Bestia. See? That's from Dead, legendary coach. And then, what a shame What a ghost you are. By the way, dead, just one of the nicest guys in the scene. So that was a nice little selection of the meltdowns that they were engaged in. Didn't change anything mysteriously, of course. So next, we had the official report come in over at HLTV. Blast shed light regarding visa case. Bestia prepare to mount defence. This is what Blast said. Since February, Blast has proactively communicated with teams about the US visa process required for the Austin Major. The timeline starts following February 14th VRS ranking update, after which teams who qualified or were expected to qualify, including Bestia, were given guidance, ensuring ample time to prepare and have their affairs in order. Now, again, as somebody that's been through the visa process, I can... Yeah, that is an insane picture. Classic Mo. Love that. But as someone who's been through the visa process, I can testify to 3 months is what it took me for one of these visas. And that was with an RFE, a request for further evidence. An RFE is mandatory, by the way, in these types of visas. So you have to factor that in. February to the May deadline is doable. It's completely achievable, particularly if you're using a good law firm, you haven't had previous declines, you haven't fucked up in any way, you shut the fuck up and you listen to what the tournament operator are telling you and what the lawyers are telling you, and you just go along and you just do it. Anyway, the tournament organizer then says it asked for visa status updates on April 23rd and 24th, at which they received a breakdown showing Bestia were in the process of obtaining visas for 4 of their players on May 1st. Bestia were repeatedly provided with follow-up support and updated invitation letters for their visa processes upon request, the TO states, but became unresponsive after their players failed to obtain their initial visas. So in other words, Blast are like, hey, can we help? What's up with the visa? What's going on? Straight lying, of course. They just weren't going to talk to them. They were just going to be like, oh shit, maybe we can muddle through. Maybe we can do this. A clear deadline was then set for May 21st at 5 o'clock CEST, after which players needed to have confirmed their visas. Now, by the way, between May 1st and May 21st, that's 20 days. You can get a lot done in 20 days. But not if you're unresponsive, not if you're not cooperating, not if you're trying to rizzle-dizzle it like they clearly did. Maybe they were going to come on some bullshit visas. We'll get to that. You posted pictures of the fucking visas. And they're not P1s. As the deadline loomed, tension started to rise with Bestia and Legacy's players going out on social media. We just looked at all of that. Then, just hours before the deadline, Bestia communicated to Blast they thought it would be likely they'd expect to obtain visas on the 26th or the 27th, with emergency interviews on Thursday. However, these appear to be visa appointments, not confirmed visas, and therefore fall short of the requirements we communicated. Because there's still no guarantee you're going to get a visa. You might go there, have your emergency interview, and they might go, yeah, but look, this is the reason you got turned down. There's nothing we can do about that. And at which point, Legacy are left in the lurch. So no, you have a deadline. And so they said, as of the deadline, Bestia was still missing visas for 2 players. Due to this, we reassigned the South American slot to Legacy, the next eligible team. Legacy has secured the necessary visas and is confirmed to attend the Austin Major. When contacted by Dust2.com BR Bestia manager Rodrigo Pino Manarino, I mean, for fuck's sake, don't make all of it rhyme. Anyway, said that the rulebook did not contain any previously determined deadline, and that when questioned about the deadline, Blast initially stated that the visas should be sent, quote, as soon as possible, and later then set the date of May 21st. On the morning of the deadline, Bestia asked for an extension, but Blast did not comply. Blast add, this decision has been validated by Valve, and further state that Bestia's current legal representative has since confirmed the team began the visa process incorrectly and without proper legal support prior to their involvement. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, they tried to fucking wing it and save money on the fucking lawyers. The end. That's it. GG, no re, fuck ye. Don't want to hear any crying. But of course, there was more crying. Lots more crying. Because what Bestia did next is they announced they got their visas. Irrelevant now, of course. Hey, everyone leaving the embassy. We already have visas. We don't need to wait until Monday. Bullshit. So they put that out there. And of course, the players all pipe up. Fallen. It's unreal what's happening with the Bestia guys. I will never agree with this prioritization. It seems to me like they decided it was more important to be on time with the right stickers or something than making sure the right team who qualified is in the competition. I mean, yeah. The whole economy of how it works for every team, other team in the tournament not affected, for every fan around the world. Let's just weigh this up. 2 dickheads who fucking didn't file paperwork correctly, or everyone else? Who the fuck should we... How should the scales balance on that one, mate? Holy shit. They absolutely have time and the visa now to be attending. Oh yeah, we'll come to that. The margins were so close. We are talking about less than 24 hours than what they apparently stipulated. Irrelevant. Deadlines to deadlines. I competed against this organ more than 5 different years and watched them dream about playing this major and fail so many times. They never gave up, and they won this time fair and square. They didn't give up when they were wrongly assisted on their first attempt to get their visas. It is so hard to get a US visa. Everyone knows that. Spoiler, it is not hard. You just do it properly. I still hope someone with the power to fix this and come out to clear this situation. Unreal. Twists as well. So disappointing to see a tournament organizer fail to grasp what being at a major means for a smaller organisation and players. Chance to be written in the history books of Counter-Strike taken away just like that. PGL waited, so can you. Please reconsider. Now, on that note, yes, PGL did extend their deadline. They chose to extend their deadline because they really wanted 9 Pandas to get to that major. And also, by the way, there was another political fucking aspect to what happened in Copenhagen. Because remember, because PGL aren't Blast, but PGL were operating in Copenhagen, and Blast is owned by the Danish government, the Danish government dickheads were going, well, we should ban Russians from competing at all esports tournaments, even though the same fucking politician calling for that got up on stage on a Blast event and introduced the fucking Cloud9 Russian team. He's literally, they're on a fucking screen behind him. And he did that. The fucking fat moron. So there was all this political fuckery. So guess what? PGL said, because there are external forces right now fucking with Russian players trying to get to our events, we will extend the deadline. The deadline was extended. They didn't meet the final, super final for realsies this time deadline, and so they put another team in. But it is up to a TO whether or not they want to host a deadline. Then there was this, right? I don't know why you would say this, right? It was likely Valve. They pushed the update out with the stickers early. They can't do that with a team in limbo. I really don't think Blast has much say in this situation. Organisers are a lot more in control of majors than most people think. I don't know what to make of that statement, because as somebody that has worked with multiple TOs, pretty much every TO that's hosted a major I think I've worked with the exception of Blast, in some capacity at some point. Face it, I guess Star Ladder, I don't think I ever worked a Star Ladder event. But anyway, that just isn't true. Unless he means that, yeah, like, Valve do give a lot of leeway to tournament organisers, but once you're approved for it, their decision, like, you have to run the decisions past them. Like, and as we've established, they said, look, they've missed this deadline. What do you want? We're putting Legacy in. And Valve have gone, yeah, that's fine. So it's done. It's like Valve have agreed, Blast have agreed, everyone's agreed. Everyone's fine. We got to move on. I don't care. Like, dreams are irrelevant if dreams come with a fucking deadline and you can't hit it. There's a very famous, funny joke about this, about the guy who he keeps begging to God, and he says, listen, I need to win the lottery this weekend. Please, I need it. I'm going to be destitute. I'm going to be out on the street. I need this for my family. I need this for my wife. I need this for the children. The weekend comes. The lottery numbers are announced. He doesn't win. Next weekend, he's on his knees. He goes, fucking please, I need this. I need this. I need this like you wouldn't believe. Honestly, I'm going to go broke without this win. It's the only thing that's going to get me out the hole. Please, God. I've worshipped you my whole life. I love you. Please. Weekend comes. He doesn't win the lottery. Next fucking weekend, he's like, what more do I have to do? Why have you fucking forsaken me? The clouds part, and God shouts down, meet me halfway and buy a fucking ticket. That's who these dickheads are. It's beyond a joke. Like, that we're having to fucking pretend that there's some big conspiracy and that this is only happening to you because you're Argentinian. You fucked up. You fucked up. You got to carry it. Or you replace these players. You get players that can have visas. It's insane. Anyway, we're still not at the end of it. They took this picture and posted this picture on fucking social media. I don't even know what the fuck this was. They said they had an urgent meeting, right, at the embassy. They just posted this, right? Well, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about this? You had a meeting? And? We've had a meeting. Wicked. Anything else? Yeah. Will you extend the deadline now? We will not extend the deadline now. Afuera! So I don't even know what the purpose of that was. Then, in shades of every fucking Brazilian esports drama ever, why the fuck is Aguero here? These kids should be training and enjoying the place they earned competing. But they've got everything ready and are ready to travel. But Blast TV, he's still not responding. What's going on? Fucking Aguero's here, lads. By the way, as a professional athlete, you must know there are things you have to do to be in it, to be able to compete. Right? You know when you sign for a club, you have to get registered, yeah? And then the club has to put your name on a list of however many players, like for European competition. You have a limited squad size, yeah? So if I don't put your name on that list, and it's your dream to compete in the Champions League, are you going to get mad about that? Because that's essentially what's happened here, isn't it? Right? But no, Aguero's here. By the way, did score that goal. Aguero! Great moment in Premier League history, even if you fucking hate City. No one hated City back then. Was just a fucking... I mean, by the way, that's nearly as good as this.
I think he's done it! I think he did it!
Just iconic, isn't it? Just immediately iconic. But, you know, you have to understand, don't you? You have to understand registration is important, papers are important, you know, like, there's footballers, historically there's been footballers. If you play a game in that country, I can't go. You know what I mean? I can't go there, sorry. Oh, but the dream. But the fucking laws, fuck your dream. The fucking laws. Law and order. More important, isn't it? So now, because Aguero got involved, Aguero is here. Well, unfortunately, Blast have had to come out and deal with all of the shit that's been flung at them. And by the way, look, as I'll prove to you, hashtag I stand with Blast. Do you understand how easy it would be for me, right, to just come up here and lie to you? I could just lie to your face and say, man, it's so sad, isn't it, that these players have had their dream robbed. And fuck Blast, right? Blast don't hire me. They're never going to hire me. It's a safe criticism. I could get all that kudos. All the Argentinian fans would be, oh, we love you, Richard. Yeah, Argentina, Al Mundial, yeah. Could have done all of that. Not doing that, of course, because there's a clear and obvious stance to take here, and it's that rules and deadlines matter, and if you don't think they do, get the fuck out of organised sports. So anyway, Blast have had to explain themselves. Here it is, Blast TV Austin Major update with a little pin. Boop, pin. We are aware that the decision to replace BESTIA at the Blast TV Austin Major 2025 has led to a number of questions about that decision-making process. In the interests of transparency, we are more than happy to provide further clarity regarding the factors which have led to this unfortunate outcome. By the way, you don't have to do this, Blast. I'd tell everyone, fuck y'all. That's what I would do. I'd just post that. I would post a picture of me, Mr. Blast, doing that. Like, it doesn't fucking matter now. What's done is done. As is the case for any of our events, all participating teams are subject to the visa requirements of the host country. You don't say. Since February, Blast has been in consistent communication with all teams regarding the US visa process required to attend the event. The outreach began well ahead of qualification to ensure any issues or delays could be addressed before the event. In total, we have seen 31 teams and 158 players successfully secure the required visas, following the application process put in place for the tournament, all within the published deadlines. BESTIA qualified for the tournament on the 17th of April. Each team is ultimately responsible for securing its players' visas, and they are always at the discretion of the host country. We shared all relevant visa information and stayed in regular contact to support their process. During this time, BESTIA had appointments where they failed to secure all player visas. On Friday 16th of May, we issued a clear and final deadline to all the teams with outstanding visa issues. Wednesday, 21st May at 5 o'clock. By this time, all teams were expected to have secured visas for enough of their submitted roster in order to compete in Austin. This deadline was put in place to help maintain competitive integrity and logistical event planning. As of the deadline, 2 of BESTIA's players had not obtained the required visas, and as a result, we proceeded to confirm they had not met the requirements to participate in the tournament and therefore had to be replaced. This decision was made in line with the Tournament Participation Agreement, TPA. What that means, by the way, guys, they agreed to these rules. They already agreed to the rules. We will abide by the rules. Help, the rules are bad for us now. Nope. Too late. You signed the TPA. While the relevant players subsequently did receive visas, there is no dispute that they were not in place at the time to meet the required deadline. Accordingly, we had no choice but to uphold the rules of the tournament, which all teams were aware of. It is a matter of huge regret to everyone involved that this has resulted in BESTIA not being able to compete at the Austin Major. We recognise the disappointment this news brings to their fans and wider esports community. And man alive, do you think those 20k replies are spicy? By this point, sympathy totally eroded. Because you post garbage like this? Just posturing, preening, fake nonsense for your fans. Trying to look like a fucking big man, right? You know you're doing the wrong thing. We wanted to resolve this fairly. See you in court. Can't wait for the fucking... It won't even go to court. It'll be dismissed. A judge will just simply laugh at you, right? They will just simply laugh at you. And also, if you have access to super cool, super good, super talented lawyers, the type of which to fight a contractual obligation case, maybe hire some for immigration next time, you fucking dickhead. How about that? How about them apples? And of course, he got fucking smoked. Shout out to this. You'll probably miss the court date. Fucking annihilated. So, all of which is to say, in much the same way as, like, I'm going to remember, Astralis having a cry about, the packet loss and forcing a rematch they weren't entitled to. I'm going to remember you guys now as just the big fucking babies that didn't file the paperwork properly, didn't get to go to a fucking major, and cried about it and threatened to sue people when you've already signed an agreement to abide by the rules of the fucking tournament operator. By the way, you will not be suing anyone. You're not that person, quite clearly. Now, unfortunately for me, I am known as a fighter for Injusticar, aren't I? People do say that. They're like, please Fight the Injusticar. So let's see. I did get people fucking messaging me. Let's do it. Oh, hang on. Before we even get to that part, I nearly missed out the funniest bit. The funniest bit, right? Here we go. The funniest part in all of this, my friendos, is he posted the fucking visas. He said, as we always said, we have the visas and we are ready to compete. So super cool that you would do this. But then when you zoom in, right, can you see B1, B2? Now, I'm not an immigration lawyer, so I was like, B1. A B1 visa, okay, according to the US State Department, right, their website, is a visitor visa. It's a non-immigrant visa that allows foreign nationals to temporarily enter the United States for business or pleasure. Business being B1, pleasure being B2. It enables people to attend conferences, meetings, or participate in scientific, educational, professional, or artistic conventions. Now, That doesn't sound like what you're doing. And in posting publicly that you were willing to enter the country that has apparently denied you visas in the past, you've told the world on your Twitter, we were willing to enter the country on the wrong type of visa to participate in a competition that requires us to have a P1 visa, and you've done it on a platform owned by Elon Musk, famously American, famously connected to the American government. I don't know, like, I think this was a bad call. That's what I'm going to say. I think this is a bad call. But we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong. But if any immigration visas out there in the chat or on YouTube, tell me, can an athlete enter into the country on a B1, B2 visa, earn money by performing their athleticism in America and then leave, and that's totally fine? Do let me know. It's been communicated to me in the past that is absolutely not okay. But we will see. And just to end, even when he posted that, he got wrecked because someone did this. So anyway, no, there will not be any sympathy from me for Bestia. And people did fucking message me. Let me see if I can find one of these messages. Oh my God, here's one, right? This is mental. Like, what is this? eSick, Blast Premier, Valve, Counter-Strike, Legacy, HLTV, Steam. Let Argentina play the major. Then they tagged in, right? Like, so let's just have a look at this motley crew here. They tagged in Bestia. They tagged in the Embassy of Argentina. All right, that makes sense. Elon Musk, right? Then Zeus, right? Just Zeus. Then Manuel Adorni, who's the Secretary of Communication for Argentina, Millie, and the Office of President for the Republic of Argentina, Millie. Just to see her. I'm tagged in that somehow. They replied to a post. Then I got accused of being a Blast employee. That was good. I got DMs as well, I think, from the players. Yeah, here we go. This was one. Help! Help! Just a fucking help. Help me, Thorin! No. Fill in your form. Shut the fuck up. There's this. R. Lewis reports Thorin, Launders, Anders, Sponge, Machine, Blast, Counter-Strike, Argentina. Help! Help us! I will not be helping you. Fill in your paperwork properly next time. This guy, he tried to do the precedent here. He went, look, in E-League Boston 2018, when 100 Thieves had their stickers released and by that time didn't have their visas, they got disqualified afterwards for visa issues with the stickers already released. No team replaced them for lack of time, I guess. Yeah, do you think that was bad? Do you think we learned something from that, mate? They waited till same day. Then there's 9 Pandas. They got time 3 days. News is released 1 day. Why is it different with us? Why? Why did we learn from past mistakes? Why? Why are the past mistakes being learned from? It's 2 weeks. It makes me wonder. Help! Help! Help eSick! Sadly, none of those times got their paperwork on time and got disqualified. Luckily for us, and after the support of thousands of people, we do have those requirements to play the tournament. We're ready to play. We're ready. And then, in desperation, there was a follow-up here. Please, 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 Thorin, Launders, Anders, Sponge Machine, and Richard Lewis, please. None of us have any influence over anything. And what I love about this is he realised, oh shit, yeah, Dan's back casting again. And he just put DDK in there. Oh yeah, Dan's back. Can he help? He's back now. Help me! Someone must help me. Someone must help me. I can't believe they DM'd me. Yeah, here's another one, right? What's this, right? Help me understand this. Help me understand this one. Okay. Richard Lewis and I Heart MS Johnson, the DreamHack executive director of the Texas Scholastic Esports Federation, Danielle Johnson. Who would... Wow, what's she gonna do? Like, really? She's got a very specific field, hasn't she? Please help us. Please help us, Scholastic Texas esports experts. Oh, man. And then Kassad, bless him. Are you fucking insane? He said, imagine there was this thing called a players' union to help with Bestia's situation. This is the one area a player union just wouldn't help, mate. Because this is cut and dry. This is as cut and dry. You can say it's sad. Oh, wow. A deadline is a deadline is a deadline. TOs get to set deadlines, break deadlines, make deadlines, set deadlines, throw away deadlines. It doesn't work, right? If we start fucking just tearing up the rules every time there's a sob story, it doesn't work. You can't run a sport like that. So, all of which is to say, I guess I can actually end with my tweet on the matter, because I did a really well thought out tweet that was balanced and measured. And I wrote this while I was in, because Pride Month has started early in Birmingham. So I was out drinking yesterday. And was it yesterday? Yeah, pretty sure it was yesterday. It might have been the day before. There was a lot of drinking. And I did this after my 6th or 7th cocktail. And so, my tweet simply said, the Bestia situation went from, oh, that's a shame, to, just fuck off, in the space of like 48 hours, which is how I feel. I do genuinely believe that. That isn't the cocktail talking. And then I did this as well. Hashtag I stand with Blast. People didn't like that. And that was when I learned that I was a Blast and Face It employee, which was news to me, but I can't wait to cash the checks. All of which is to say, no, I mean, Bestia, sorry, mate. Fucking sorry to Papa Smurf or whatever his fucking name is, and fucking all the other guys. I understand the emotion. I understand missing out on something you really, really wanted. It will happen at various times in your lives. This was avoidable. It sounds like ultimately, if the players want to be mad at someone, be mad at your organisation. If you want to sue someone, sue your organisation for denying you this opportunity, because it sounds like they played fast and loose with the fucking rules. They played fast and loose with getting the fucking visas. And also, if you know that you've had problems with visas in the past, you should be upfront and transparent about that with Blast. Maybe they could have put you in contact with a specialist. Maybe this is something we could have absolutely fixed. But what we cannot do is go all quiet and hope the problem's going to go away and try and sneak through. And then after an emergency meeting, meaningless after the emergency meeting because it's after the deadline, then go, hey, we got our paperwork super late. Can we play now? Nope, the deadline was set. Legacy, you're in. You're fucking out. That is life. Hope there's a powerful lesson in it for you, and all the crying and belly aching and fake threats of lawsuits isn't going to change the reality that when the No Majors Club comes rolling round into town, I'll be watching Legacy, not fucking Bestia. Bye-bye.